Korea versus China, ladies. Yeah, we got a new tournament here, and this time we're looking at the Eastern meta once again. So the Asian teams are currently playing, and this entire event here is organized by height. In total, we have 8 teams participating, 6 Korean teams and 2 Chinese teams. The Korean teams, as far as I know, were all determined by a captain's mode. So a captain was elected, and then from a hero pool, they could pick their players. That's pretty much how all of that worked. I mean, you should be familiar with that. We had tournaments like this in Europe quite a bit. In total, there's $2,500 of prize money involved in the tournament here. It's a single elimination bracket, and in the first round, the round of 8, where we're going to cover all of the games, we have a best of 3. So we're continuing from a best of 3 in the round of 8 to the semifinals, a best of 5, and then the grand final is going to be a best of 7. But this is obviously all on the new patch. We have the Eastern teams in, immediately Vala banned out, and in this case we're looking at Team Fly going up against Flying Tech. Loga says flying without tech. Obviously there's a lot of Korean, a lot of Hangul involved too, and a couple of like weird abbreviation characters, so at some point I gotta throw in the towel, but apparently they're calling themselves in additional meme or whatever flying without a tech, so it's a little bit different, but just to get the gist here. But either way, now that we got Hogga as our first pick on Tomb of the Spider Queen, we're kicking things off with a very early pick into Malthael, and Plock is picking Tychus, one of the players you should be familiar with, because he played on Sexy Plock. I don't even remember, I think it was the 30k tournament back in the day. That was... No, Chili Mountain had the Korean tournament. I think that was the cup that I'm referring to right now, where we had Sexy Plock play a little bit too with his sexy plays. And we're gonna see if he's gonna chip in a few of those here today. But anyways, we got Sylvanas already locked in, and we get an Ana early on here on Tomb of the Spider Queen. No real focus on the main tanks just yet, so very, very low priority for tanks just in general. Could still see someone along the lines of Jojo being taken, Diablo usually, at least in the European meta, has a bit of a priority here too. Side laners, Rexa is very, very common in Europe, but of course then again, looking at the Eastern meta, it was always kind of different. And it's kind of funny when you look over towards the Korean and the Chinese teams and just see a different playstyle, and then after a while a few of those elements get adapted by the Europeans too. So it should be an interesting one. I'm not quite sure what exactly to expect here. Now, a lot of the players that you will see involved in the tournament are either former HGC pros or very high up in the ladder, being grandmasters or competitive players on the Chinese and Korean side. But there's Dibbles. Okay, so as already been expected, Diablo is in, and we get Anduin after his rework. And we talked about the reworks in the past, especially when we talked about the Masters Clash, for example. So went over those a bit more in detail. A lot of heroes that got reworked that didn't really need a rework. Instead, we still have plenty of heroes that get very little to no attention, or are just straight up bad, and that didn't get touched at all. So a bit of a problem there, but either way, we'll see what's going to happen here today. So Anduin, as I said, is already in. We have Greymane and Tyrael. Greymane, Tyrael, always heroes that came into play in pretty much every single offline event that we had back in the day for HGC. And of course, the Koreans usually very, very strong with the Tyrael Sanctification Greymane setup. Noteworthy, I suppose, also that a lot of those side laners that I mentioned earlier that we have very regularly on the European and North American side have not made an appearance here. But at least the recent trend of European players playing Tassadar continues. We have Tassadar also on the side of the Korean team here. So ladies and gentlemen, let's go. Game number 1. Tournament starts up. The Fishbowl League. I have no idea why it's called League. It's tournament. But yeah, so the Fishbowl League with game number 1 in the quarterfinals here between Fly and Flying Without Tech. Game number 1, let's go. Tomb of the Spider Queen on the left side. Team Fly with Fly 9GE. On Ana, we got Psio. On Hogga, Mizuhara. On Tyrael, the Chinese team with Mercy. On Sylvanas and Kwanane on Greymane. I'm, by the way, going to butcher a lot of the pronunciations here today, so like bear with me. Also, my Hangul is a little bit rusty. I'm not going to read to all of that right now because I'm just simply too lazy. But Henjin is playing Anduin. We got KCB on Diablo, Aimer on Tassadar, Plock on Tychus, and Luna DK is playing Malthael, the Aspect of Death. So, with all of that said and done, let's get our first game in. I want to see that Korean meta in action here, and of course the Chinese as well. The Chinese teams, a lot of these the two teams that we have, a lot of the guys are involved in gold leagues, so something that we should also throw out there. We've been talking a bit about how the Korean teams were drafted together, but the Chinese teams, they're definitely in a position where they might even be the favorites, considering. But for now, we got our Dibbles rotation towards the top, so the usual 4-man between the top and the mid lane to try and get some stacks together, get those gems, and yeah, just get the party started. And that's exactly what we are seeing right now. You're hoping for a kill? Yeah, well, and there they're working already for it. Nice lockdown against Mizuhara. And Tyrael so close to dying in that little encounter. That was nearly the end of it. So he is able to survive, but that was a close call. Has to, of course, back off. And there's the pause. So maybe they have even a few problems on the technical side with him. Doesn't seem like anybody disconnected, but it could definitely be the case that he has some issues with his equipment here. Either way, the blue team with a very quick pause. And as we're now having a bit of a break, so let's check this out a little bit. So first of all, the camp over here is going to be taken in just a few seconds. I'm going to try to establish a bit of mid lane pressure. Position, of course, for the red team is slightly better right now. They weren't able to get the kill against Tyrael, but at least they were able to force him back. So with Mizuhara moving back to the Nexus and making sure that he is just not getting killed anytime soon, they are now in a position where they have a bit of extra time that they can use to get the head start on the camp and then continue the rotation. Now, they don't have a lead when it comes to gems. We have 8 gems on each side. Tacita, with the build that he uses here, going for the Sign Fusion, can of course now rotate between the lanes and still chip in quite a lot of AoE damage that allows him to burn these waves down. If he wants to really collect the gems, he needs to be a little bit careful and keep vision as much as possible on the blue team's champions, just to make sure that nobody is moving in to gank up on him. But Ima shouldn't really have a big problem there. Also, the blue team is now trying to go for the camp themselves, and they got Hogger and Greymane. The two heroes, they're absolutely fantastic when it comes to camp clear. In this case, it's only Hogger that makes the move. Greymane is still at the bottom of the map and will, I suppose, eventually also try to get Siege Giants if he gets a bit of an assist. On his lonesome, he's very likely not gonna do that. But yep, here comes the move down to the bottom of the map. So it's the red team that is trying to go for the Siege Giants. Again, working around that tiny advantage in time that they got through the forcing of Tyrael back towards the Nexus. But for the time being, yes, the push in the middle. We also got Sylvanas, of course, in the mix. So the entire setup that we see from the Chinese team is actually really, really good when it comes to taking structures down. If you have Greymane plus Sylvanas and your opponent doesn't pay attention to you, boy, are you gonna suffer on your walls, on your towers, and also the forts and keeps, because they can literally just rip you to shreds within seconds. So something that flying without tech definitely needs to pay a little bit of attention to as the game continues. We have fairly even amounts of gems right now. No kills thus far in the game, so both of the teams with a bit of a slower approach here. Just take it easy. Nice sleep dart, by the way, on Anna's side. Very well done here. Allowing them, first of all, to not get ganked, but also just sniff Dibbles out a little bit. Anduin is also helping as much as he can as Tychus is getting attacked. Now, with Tychus in the mix and him going for the bigger they are here, it obviously also means that we're going to see Odin later on as a huge tool around a push or for defensive measures. So both of it definitely possible there. Yeah, Greymane, as already mentioned, he went into the Eyes in the Dark. Never really understood that name. I mean, we all have eyes in the dark, right? So it's not really talking about him being able to see in dark or anything, but it's just like, I have eyes no matter what, like, what's happening outside. So be it sunny or dark, it doesn't matter. I mean, I don't even know. Don't know if that makes sense. Anyways, ignoring that for a moment, we still have the turn-ins now finally slowly happening, since both of the teams are aiming for level 7 talents. And at this point, at least, it's a blue team that is a little bit ahead over here. The bigger they are also came in, so they're trying to burn the melees down. And talking about burning melees down, there's the first kill. Malthael is down. Nicely done. The blue team, the Chinese team, with the first kill. Just as we had a few more potential gems turned in by Flying Tech, but now they get attacked in the middle of the map as well. Moving back quickly. Hogger has to be careful, but so does Plog. Plog with a sexy play. So far, they haven't been sexy enough. He's still trying to make a dent in here. The team, of course, with level 7 talents, both of them. Mercy gets attacked, tries to jump out, and is able to make it out. Sylvanas still alive. 16 against 28 gems on the board. Malthael now also with a massacre. So far, the only one that has been massacred was him. And the pleb horse for mercy over here. But no web beaver yet. We are already nearly 5 minutes into the game, and we don't have a single objective yet. Luna, gotta be careful here too. In the meantime, they move straight into the middle once again. And just playing around the wave clear here. Also, Greymane hasn't taken his level 7 yet. He's still waiting this one out. So no level 7 for the doggy. In the meantime, to the moon! He has the most hero damage here. And we got 15,000 for Tychus. So yeah, Tychus is definitely way above everyone else. But you look over to Tacita and you can really see why he went into the Psystorm build. I mean, he is just murdering the siege damage. So he's the one with the wave clear here for them. Just carpeting the floor with this time and time again. Making sure that they get all of the gems and not miss out on any experience. But, well, there's the blue web beaver wave. They're the first ones to turn in, as Hogger was apparently able to deliver a few gems at the bottom of the map. Our little skirmish in the mid lane, on the other hand, is still continuing. And yeah, KCB's Diablo is looking for a victim, can't find anything, and that just turns him into a punching ball for Sylvanas, who turns it around and gets some serious work done. Now, keep in mind that both of the teams are looking at level 10 abilities that are gonna hit soon, but it's the blue team that has a bit of momentum thanks to the web weavers touching ground. Malthael is defending the bot lane, and in the middle of the map, they're already done or about to be, and everybody is now rotating top side. Electric Fence is, of course, another one of these tools that is just amazing with Tacita. You can create so many kill opportunities. And there is a certain synergy with Diablo, since you can stun an opponent into an Electric Fence. So you're not only reliant on the debris on the map itself, but you can also use Tacita's ability to set you up a bit. And that can create a lot of cool plays if you do it well. Now we got Sanctification, of course, in. The level 10 abilities are now ready for both of them. And we get the bubble. Okay. Holy Word Salvation. Yeah, someone got very mad at me one time because I called it the bubble. It's like, it's not a bubble. It's a holy word. Because Anduin, here's all the words. Here's the best words. Everybody says so. So with that, we got now heroics on both sides. Tacita, of course, with the Archon again. Already the Lightning Breath in. And Malthael, he hasn't made a choice yet. So nothing for Malthael right now. We have still the opportunity for the red team to get their own turn in. And then making their play. Plock is the one who tries to deliver the final 2 gems. And I think this time he's going to get away with that. Up at the top, Zio has to be very careful. If you Ogre with 25 gems, you want to pay a bit of attention that you don't go in too deep, or you're going to lose your team's ticket back into the game if you ever fall behind. But yep, here we go. At that point, we got the web weavers for the Korean team. Okay, let's go. Let's see what they can pull off here. First of all, they need to defeat the camp in the middle of the map, but they're already busying themselves on that. And the blue team is a little bit cut off from the top. Now they have to rotate someone up there. Maybe it's just Greymane. For now it's Tyrael that makes this move. But they're getting heavily pushed in the mid lane as well. So Sylvanas is trying to take care over the top side. Everybody else is moving down to the bottom. Last rites, but Malthael can't use it just yet. Not a kill opportunity for them. But at least they're breaking through the wall here in the middle and they're doing some work up at the top. So here comes Odin. Sanctification is already out. Tyrael, and he goes down. Tyrael is dead, and there's the bubble, so no damage done by Tyrael. 12 seconds on the death timers, Anduin counteracting, and the first fort is gone. Nicely done. Well played by the red team. Yeah, good job from Flying Tech. So they're currently in a spot where they took down the first fort of the game. They opened the top lane up a little bit, taking the wall down, taking the fountain down, even more important. At the bottom of the map, maybe Malthael wasn't really all that successful, but there's the chance for a double turn in now. And Torka has way too many gems. Torka is just sitting here as like, team, I need some help. Especially with everybody else moving in right now. And oh boy, you need to get the hell out of there. Yeah, a little Fleabag already escaping, but there's the second turn in for the red team. As we got a talent advantage kicking in for them as well. The Enchant Boots, Lion Speed, and yeah. Yeah, ever since Anduin came out of the closet, he's embracing it wholeheartedly. So what he wants, what his heart desires, is very, very obvious. Boots. More boots, boots, boots. Has a whole wardrobe at home. At least so rumor has it. Shadow Walk on level 13. We got the inevitable end. And talk about inevitable. There's the inevitable kill against Tassadar. Yeah, Mercy showing none of it. Moving in and getting the quick kill. And that is a bad, bad moment for Tyrael to go down. Oh, sorry, Tassadar. Because, well, the push is ongoing. But still, it leads to a fort being destroyed topside. So it's not like flying without tech didn't get anything out of that objective. But that was a solid move from Mercy. I like it. At the bottom of the map in the meantime, look at Hogga. He's at 42. If they at any point dive him, and here we go, that's exactly what they're looking for. He might be getting wrecked. There's the stun. Can they cut him off? And they cannot. But he had to use the Hoarder pull to get out of there. Yeah, he had to get the Hoarder pulled or use the cooldown to get out of harm's way. Again, totally understandable. If you have that many gems, you don't want to risk anything. They are currently getting slapped around a bit, but with all of the gems on Hogga, if they turn them in, they still have the chance to come back into all of this. 30,000 damage by now from Tychus. 22,000 from Greymane. And yeah, here we go. Can they? Maybe. Nah. Alright. Greymane still waiting for his opportunity here. And Hogga is sneaking the turn in up at the top. Yes! There we go. Alright, he's already jumping out. Yeah. Kornhorne here over here. We definitely know who's not on Team Edward. Greymane, our little werewolf, is starting to do his thing. And honestly, who is, right? I mean, seriously. Why would you be? It's definitely not the team to be on. Anyways, so top side, here we go. Lucio, I don't know why. Okay, Psio here, yeah. For some reason, every single time I see the nickname, it looks a little bit like Lucio. Like, I don't know, my bad, but still, anyways. So at that point, Mercy gets attacked. Mercy's getting a little bit aggressive, and I like it. That's exactly the kind of the type of play that we need to see here. So they're starting to make the move straight up through the middle, and with the help of Sylvanas, they could do some serious damage here. 2 kills to 1, but the level 16 talent any moment now for the red team, and that's of course the lead that they need. The purifying darts are in the pommel, and there's the 16, which first and foremost allows the psychic shock over here. With the psychic shock, you have the damage dished out a little bit faster. We also have the glyph of faith shocker that's taken. Why wouldn't you? And with 2 of the forts, well, for 1 fort down, 1 at the bottom of the map getting attacked, I think this is going to be an easy kill too if they commit to it. But with the nearly entire red team now facing off here, they can even save the fountain. So good on them. Nicely done. 16 versus 16 gives us first and foremost here the active reload and the Will of the Forsaken plus the Alpha Killer. Yeah, I mean, for Dibbles at the front, that might be a little bit of a problem. They're still trying to get the turn in here. I gotta admit, this is not really as kill-heavy as I initially expected, especially with the Chinese and the bush meta that they usually establish. I expected a few more Admiral Akbar moments here for the full-on traps, but we didn't get that yet. Instead, we're having 2 teams that are playing, with the exception of Mercy, relatively safe and sound, just trying to get the early lead here. As already mentioned earlier, this is a single elimination system, meaning if you lose a best of 3, you're already out of the tournament. So you gotta keep that in mind. It's kind of important that you're winning these maps and you don't want to screw around too much, given that these are best of 3s in the first round of the event. Oh, that could have been real sexy. If they are coordinated a little bit better around the electric fence and Diablo's stun, then I think they could have gotten quite a bit of additional damage onto Hogga and maybe potentially even kill him. But they're still waiting around down here. And where's Malthel when you need it? Where's that last rites? There's the sanctification already out there, turning it against Diablo. And Anduin with a bubble. Anduin going for the big bubble in the meantime. Sylvanas moving in, but Ana is down. They're trying to go for the kills. Another wall stun is happening as Greymane is also falling. Here comes Luna as he moves in. Diablo's about to die, but they get the kill. Oh, 2 down, 3 down. The slaughter. Anduin and Malthel, they die at the same time. And then Tyrael, Greymane, they're all dead. What is happening here? Plog is still on the menu, and apparently they're going to try and take him down here, and that's exactly what Hogga does. Dibbles is already back. The gem count 15 to 10, and they could turn in as we speak. Mid lane gets attacked, by the way. The keep is taking some damage at least, and here's the turn in. But boy, did that fight turn. check this shit out. I mean, look at it. Everybody dead, dying low, and Pogga went ham on this one. He got the double kill easily against Anduin and Malthael, and that just escalated quickly. So big plays being made here by Hogga in particular, but also Mercy dishing out some serious damage in that encounter. 35,000 damage now for Greymane. We have Hogga on 32, Sylvanas as well. Web Weavers are coming in, 6 kills to 4. I was complaining about not a lot of kills and fights, and then all of a sudden they just went ham on that one. 52,000 damage now on Tigers, still the big boy when it comes to the damage output. But even with the keep taking damage in the middle of the map on the blue team side, they are now the ones in the driver's seat, at least for a bit longer. And they should be able to take both of those forts down. They're already about to destroy the one at the bottom. Mercy doing a nice job here. And with the mid lane fort also getting dropped, the blue team is taking the lead in structures. Yeah, nicely done. Attack is still coming, and it's party time. Look at that. They're even going for Odin pretty early here just to be able to defend. And they have to defend on all 3 lanes still. It's not only that the mid lane is under assault, the one at the bottom of the map where Sylvanas has made a move is already losing the gate and also the towers. And this doesn't even account for the top lane where we see even more action happening. So yeah, they need to take all of that down. That game shifted quickly. And good on the Chinese team. They are heavily aggressive now. They are capitalizing on that advantage like there's no tomorrow. I mean, I gotta admit, it's pretty cool to see how quickly they're just shifting gears here. And the fight didn't start off well for them. It definitely didn't. They were the ones struggling into it and losing multiple heroes. And then it was just Hogga and Sylvanas, the damage dealers, doing tons of work. Light of Stormwind is coming in right now. So, in addition to that, the Holy Arena, the Twilight Archon, no one can stop death, can do this all day. Can you? Can you? At least a little bit of survivability for him. Sylvanas is already trying to come in. We got also the anger management. But, let's go. Top side, are they going for boss? That's a bit of a ballsy move to go for boss right now. Alright. Yeah, China, just go for it. I mean, why not? They have the camp at the bot lane pushing with the catapults. They're just saying, if we can draw your attention towards the top lane, that bot lane is going to wreck your keep. And that's exactly what's going to happen if nobody defends here. So I like it. They fall back, so they just force them off. And now somebody has to go there. Mercy, by the way, eats the grenade. Nicely done by Block, anticipating, of course, already where Sylvanas would jump. And that's a lot of damage, and here comes Hogga! But Anduin with the counter attempt, nice Wailing Arrow, and the kill against Tigers. Ooh, baby! Here we go, big plays, and the stack for Malthael, but he dies. He's back to business, though, as no one can stop death at the bot lane. The keep gets attacked. They're barely going to be able to save it. But nicely done. I mean, check this out. First, Tigers is the one to fall. The interrupt, of course, against the ult on Anduin was absolutely crucial. The Wailing Arrow from Sylvanas was worth it for sure. And now we have the attack up at the top side. And I don't think that there's a lot that Flying Tech can do about it right now. So they have to sacrifice this one. They don't have a lot of gems either. They lost way too many heroes over the last few encounters, so they are down to 4 gems. And it is the blue team that is currently running the show here. Not only do they set the boss en route at the top side, but they're getting closer and closer to another turn-in as well. If they deliver the gems now, that would be safe. At least, honestly, at least Hogga should deliver the gems. I mean, get rid of those 35, buddy. If you guys are making a move and then he dies, that could be a big problem. Now catapults are still pushing through the bot lane, are gonna go straight in for it. All the way up at the top is still having the defense happening against the boss. That one was of course inevitable. Dibbles at least is getting some more stacks in on the baseline, so it means he's gonna be a bit more tanky, just in general. And good stuff for now. But that actually is a pretty fun game so far. I like it. So yeah, the Fishbowl tournament. I gotta admit, by the way, that the Fishbowl name, I have no... apparently Fish is the sponsor of the team. That's kind of what I got here. But the cool thing is really the logo. If you check the logo out at the bottom left, when I saw that, I just laughed. Quite a lot. That is a pretty funny idea. That was a really cool idea. So quite enjoyable. When I saw that, I was like, okay, that's clever. That is very, very clever. So good stuff. But yeah, the push to the bottom of the map now, as Sylvanas is still trying to take down that keep. And I like the way that Mercy is always splitting from the rest of the team. I think it's pretty impactful what he did here so far. If you're looking at the damage output, it's reflected there, of course, as well. Especially the siege damage is also rather high. But it's a pretty cool style regardless. Now, all the way up at the top with the Web Beaver is now pushing in. We are expecting keeps to fall eventually. Yeah, a bit of an attack though. And there's the big save from Anna. That was important because Malthael, if he at any point can rotate over and drop the last rights and Sylvanas is down, that would be a big issue. At the top, they're saving the keep. I don't think that they can at the bottom of the map. One of them is definitely going to fall. They're also pushing through the middle right now. And Mercy playing it super safe. Still mounted. There's the attempted kill. Last rights has been used too. Counteracted by the Sanctification. But they are all falling back right here. Bottom keep is down. The one at the top is getting attacked in the middle of the map. They're losing it in just another moment. And this is not looking good for the Korean team. Not even a little bit. Oh, Greymane! Hana with a save. Every single keep destroyed. The Chinese team going for it. Me likey. Yeah, Greymane is able to get out. Still over here, a little bit of a 1 versus 1 setup. I don't think they can get that kill. He doesn't have last rights back to action yet. So that's a problem. And now that they lost every single kill, as you can imagine, the situation is dire. Every single lane is now pushing against you. There's going to be a massive catapult pressure, especially through the bot lane, of course, since we still have a fort here. So it's going to be one after another. Mercy is already making his way down to the bottom of the map to get the siege giants set up. And the more pressure there is, the more you can play the macro game. Posture around boss once that it respawns. That's going to be in 1:40. Nobody's even close to another turn-in. But you can also look, of course, at the bruiser camps, at the siege giant camps, the way that they're doing here. Everything is stacked in favor of Team Fly, the blue team. So the only thing really that Flying Tick can do, they can try and go for a fight. They have to pick a battle and at some point just go for it and just say, okay, this is the one, this is the hill that we're going to die on. I don't think that they can stall it out until they get a turn in. I mean, they're not that far away. Maybe they can. They need a couple more gems. Actually, they have enough for a turn in right now. But I'm not quite sure if they can make it there. And you see how time is working in favor of the blue team. Because as all of this happens, this push at the bottom of the map is still going to be a thing. And eventually, the red team has to fall back or they're going to lose hit points at the core. It's that simple. We're 22 minutes into the game. And at this point in time, the catapults, they are starting to hit and they're hitting hard. So if you don't want to lose to the Winions, you gotta move someone down there to deal with the camp. And yeah, let's see if they can. For now, 9 kills to 5. There we go. Same time again. What do we get here? Yeah, there's already the bullet out. They want the camp. They're getting the camp. Can they go for the kill? Tyrael. Oh, the Sanctification at 60 HP. Greymane is down the bubble. Anduin with the perfect timing. Holy shit, the core is getting attacked. Do they send someone back or do they just go for it? They want Anna, they want Granny, and they're getting Granny. Granny is down. That's 3 heroes gone. But the core is losing shields and the catapults and siege giants are firing away. Someone has to get back. They're going to try and end. They're going to try and end right here. Anduin with the bubble immediately comes in and they are going for core. Are you kidding me? Their own core is down to 80%, but they're going to try to end the game with all of the kills they just got a second ago. And of course, they got the Twilight Archon right now. That's a huge tool. What a turn in this game. What the hell? Insane setup. I can't believe this actually happened. Perfect timing. Tacita is down though. That's a big chunk on the damage. No, not like this. 10%. Diablo. And he gets no 2%. Malthael. And they're trying to get the kill and it's the end of game number 1. What a finish as we have the Korean team with the first victory in the best of 3.
Before we head into game number 2, make sure that you subscribe to the channel if you haven't done it yet so you don't miss out on any future content here on Khaldor TV.
Quite the finish in game number 1. I mean, first it really looked like the Korean team had no chance of winning it anymore after they lost every single keep. And then all of a sudden it turned and they were the ones attacking but lost everyone at the core, with the exception... At first I thought, okay, maybe Diablo can finish it, then Diablo dies, and then Malthael jumps in, and I'm just like, oh my god, he's still not even at the core. They're gonna get murdered here, but they made it happen, I don't know what to tell you. So it is the red team that is in the lead as we're heading into game number 2, and it is Tomb of the Spider Garden Curse. So, yeah. Garden of Terror. Yeah, Tomb of the Garden Curse is in, so pretty much a map that combines more or less the objective of Cursed Hollow and Tomb of the Spider Queen. A little bit different, but Vala is up. So Vala was banned in game number 1, now she's actually up for grabs because the priority ban hits Hogger this time. After what he did with them the last game, they just said, okay, Hogger is not going to be a thing here. Also, there are a lot of camps on this map. Hogger, incredibly useful. Not a map that you see really a whole lot, and that already tells you that the map pool is slightly different from what you see in most of the Western events right now. And we have a Vala taken as a first pick. Vala is kind of cool because there's multiple builds that you can play right now. I mean, depending on the map, you have a huge focus into the multi-shot build. We've seen a lot of arrow builds, especially, of course, on Garden of Terror, but on Battlefield of Eternity, but other maps too. Stukov gets taken. Bit curious to see if we're going to have something along the lines of a Nuberok Stukov, variant Stukov, if that's going to be a thing in the Eastern meta as well. And there we go. May and Anna are kicking us off a bit. Okay. Yeah, meta will be interesting throughout the tournament. Not necessarily in all of the games of the round of 8. I assume that there's still going to be a bit of experimenting going on there too, since it's also China and Korea clashing. But as we're heading into the semifinals and into the grand final, there should definitely be a pretty established priority on heroes in the way that they're playing them and building them. But it's already interesting to see that at least it deviates very heavily from what we are seeing on the European side. I mean, has anybody focused Raxa right now? Normally that's a big pick no matter what map you are playing. On the European side here it hasn't played a role yet. Could have been just a happy circumstance on the first map, and now it's kicking in, but traditionally there's always a bit of a difference between the regions. So we got Malthael banned out, we got Garrosh banned out, and that leaves us with a couple of picks left. Garden of Terror, the blue team, the Chinese team, they come in with Varian and with Sonya. Okay, this is looking way more now like a lineup that we would also see on the European side. So Varian coming in with the taunt, Stukov with the follow-up, and then you can either leap with Sonya or you can spec her with Wrath of the Berserker. You can focus heavily on the camps on the map. You have Vala for additional damage output. We get Medivh also, always nice to see that. And Leoric for additional wave clear. Mr. Swiffer, the janitor, is coming to help out a little bit. Yep, I like it. Okay, that's already cool. That's already a pretty nice setup here. Varian is going to have a hard time to prep the kills with Medivh being around and being able to provide the shield. It's of course a cooldown battle that Varian is winning, but still you need to create those opportunities of course too, which also is kind of important. But let's see. There's Sylvanas. Mercy again on Sylvanas. And after the first game that he played on the hero, I don't mind that at all. Garden of Terror, everybody. Game number 2 in the best of 3 series. So let's jump in without further ado. Game number 2, the lead for Flying Without Tech, but here on the left side on Tomb of the Spider Garden, we got 9GE on Stukov. We talk about 5G a lot and all the cell towers and everything, but damn, once we're hitting 9G, whew, you know we have some good network coverage over here. Psion on Sonya, we got Kuonana on Vala, Mercy on Sylvanas again, and Mizuhara is playing Varian. Apparently he is a Grandmaster in China and on the Korean server is playing the main tank traditionally for the team, also in this case, but can also deviate over into the DPS role. We have Aima on Medivh for the red team, KCB on Mei, Luna on Leoric, Plock, Sexy Plock on Tychus, and Anna is rounding out the draft. As we get the heat transfer on level 1, we have indeed a multi-shot build, as you can see, going for the Fire at Will right away. Okay, so with that all said and done, let's see what else. We currently have a little bit of a skirmish here in the middle of the map, and nothing too crazy. We're going to keep our eye on Medivh in particular. Our boy is going to try and get his stacks together for the baseline. That's oftentimes a little bit of a problem, so we'll see if he can actually check that one out. But at the bottom of the map, they're already going straight up for the action again, and they're getting some serious damage onto Varian. Yeah, Varian didn't like that at all. He is rather low. Is stacking on level 1 with Alliance more for now. Top lane is both of the offlaners going toe-to-toe with Leo having to deal with Sonya, and Vala right away trying to get the camp here. 4 stacks on the level 1. Again, we're going to see how much teams are going to focus on the objective, how many opportunities there will be for Vala to get some serious stacks on the multi-shot. And then get that out here. For now, Sonya is helping out a bit. Camps, of course, super important on this map. This is the map with the most camps in the entire game, if I'm not mistaken. Or one of them. But yeah, it's kind of crazy. So you have a lot of mercenary camps that you can set on route. Now, granted, there's no boss here, but still, it is pretty powerful if you take all the camps. If you get map control, you can steal your opponent's camps away too. That helps a lot too. So, yeah, we'll see. But with 11 stacks early on in the game, Medivh is so far doing a decent job. We had the teams just focusing on macro, focusing a bit on camp control. Varian obviously is locking the taunt in. So with that, we now have kill opportunities for the blue team that they could use. Kneel Peasants for Leo for the added wave clear. It's definitely going to need it. And they're stealing the first camp away already. They're being aggressive. They have the entire 4-man down. And they're taking the Siege Giants. There's the attempt at a counter of the Korean team as they are hoping to get the kill, and that's a lot of good control against Varian as Mei is sliding in, stopping him even further. Vala is also low, but it could be Varian. That's the first blood in the game, but there's the heal. Mercy gets attacked, he's jumping out, they're all low. The grenade doesn't connect, but there's the kill. Sylvanas is down. Nicely done. Mercy this time overstepped just a bit. We saw in game number 1 already that he really, really likes to push it to the limit. This time he pushed it a bit too hard. It was a 5 versus 4 to begin with. Sonya gets counter pressure at top lane on the other hand. So the kill might have dropped into the hands of Flying Tech, but they lost quite a bit because of it. Now, they're very likely to lock in the objective then again, which was obviously a bit of a lead on that at least. But they lost the gate, they lost the tower at the top. And down at the bottom of the map, here comes the little push towards Tychus, and you could already see what's happening. Once that the taunt is out, the shield of Medivh is immediate, and that's exactly what they need. Medivh is, as usual, the X factor. If Aima plays a nice Medivh here and is able to shield his allies from Varian, then the kills are gonna be really difficult to get for the blue team. And that's kind of the whole thought process behind the setup. The drain momentum is kicking in, and we now also got the force magic right here. So, yep, top side 2 versus 1. Leo has to be careful. Trade value hasn't been activated yet. And Medivh gets out. Good for him. And, well, we have him at 32 stacks, so he's kind of on a record trip here. 4 minutes into the game, and he's already at 32. If he doesn't go for a royal screw-up now, he should be able to complete that without it being reset. The Hot Pursuit is in on level 7 now for Vala after she continued with multi-shot on level 4. Following, of course, that recent meta here too. And let's see if Medivh is able to finish it now. Because Aima is already here. Alles im Eimer, Eimer für alle. Gets the globe. Getting really close here. Needs another 7 stacks and then he's Gucci. But we still have them brawling it out without even going for the seed. Everybody's just sitting in the middle. And there's a lot of poke happening from Vala in particular as she's trying to stack even further. Nice portal control attempt here by Stukov. Obviously noteworthy too that if the portals get dropped early, Stukov can always react with a lurking arm. And still Leo pushing the top lane out a bit and forcing Sonya to react. So they're looking at the seed, but nobody's really going for the defenders just yet. And with that, what do we have on the damage output? 12,000 for Tychus. It's a bit early in the game, granted. Vala is currently attempting to catch up. And Mercy is, of course, straight down at the bottom of the map again, trying to push out the side lane. We saw that approach in game number 1, and we are seeing it here once again. It's this time Leo that reacts to it and is moving in right away. Interesting part is really, if it comes to a game 3, I would not be surprised to see Sylvanas banned out just so that they don't have to deal with that shit anymore. I can only assume that for the team in red, it's pretty annoying. The spin to win goes a long way, but it does not survive through that setup. If you are getting ganked by the whole 4-man there at the top, then you just don't stand a chance. I'm sorry. So that's an easy kill right here. We got now another tribute taken, another seed taken, so that they can get the the Web Weavers, the Garden Terrors, sorry, into the game pretty soon. Maybe even a chance to go for an Entomb against Sylvanas, not really all that helpful, but they have the level 10 abilities. And we get Leap this time! So, potential taunt into Leap. I gotta be honest, with Varian around it, seeing Leap here will be a bit strange because, I mean, don't get me wrong, if you can taunt and then you can leap onto the target, you're more or less guaranteed a kill. The problem is if Medivh is around and if he is not the dedicated target, then one shield can ruin everything in just a second. So there's that. Gotta be a bit careful around it. We'll see how they handle it. Medivh isn't done with this quest yet, but he's incredibly close. He's only 2 stacks away from that. And they are getting aggressive again. This is one of those things of the Chinese team. They're just moving over and steal camps away time and time again. This is the second time now that they're trying to do this here. 19 stacks for Vala. Nothing insane yet, but we're also only at the 7-minute mark. And they're going for the fort. So structurally speaking, they take the lead here. And easily, I might add. There's pretty much nothing that flying tech could do. Top side, this wall is down, but at least Tigers gets an opportunity to return the favor to an extent, and he's going for the wall to take this one down, which is, of course, pretty easy for him. Needs to retreat after that too, but at the bottom, Leo is still defending, so that's happening. And we got the attack in the middle. And that's the quest completion. Quest completion not only for Medivh, Varian also completes his level 1. Still 2 kills against 0. But at the fort at the bot lane is the only one that falls so far. So yeah, there's the attack. Tigers gets attacked, taunted, and that's a kill. Plock is down. Plock got plucked. And even the wall on May couldn't do anything about it. Sleep is also coming out. But the aggression is there. I like it. The blue team is coming in and saying like, well, game number 1. Kind of a bit annoying what happened there, but we're gonna just start and try to force game number 3. And to be fair, with them being this aggressive around structures, I really think that if they're not making big mistakes during the team fights, and maybe not even give any team fights, they're gonna be in a decent spot here. The portal comes out and then the Entomb is on top of it, but didn't really connect with anyone. The fort is nearly down in the middle of the map. It's kind of cool how the rotations of Team Fly always lead to them having an advantage in structures. They come out of nowhere, they get the structural lead, they burn it down with Sylvanas. Last time they used Greymane to help out with it, this time they have Vala amongst others. But this is starting to become a bit of a problem for the red team. Virulent Reaction is now also in. But you look at the minimap and you can see a clear advantage for the blue team in terms of map control. And now we're on level 13 talents for both sides. We also have 2 tributes or true seeds for both of them. And yep, with that, a little bit of an auto attack style now on 13. As we get the Spectral Leech, Gloom is in for Vala. Damage against Medivh, nothing that really threatens him too much. That's of course the idea to just try and set something up with the help of May and her wall, but that didn't really help. So now the seed is coming up, and this is going to be the important one. One of the teams is going to get the Garden Terrors, if they can pull it off. Another Entomb, this time against Stukov. Varian, zoning them out a bit and damaging, or at least targeting the damage dealer. And 33 stacks for Vala. The dangerous thing with Vala in this mix is that as the game continues, she's always going to get more damage potential. She's already sitting at 26,000, so she has surpassed Tychus by quite a bit, I might add. And as long as they keep Vala alive, she is going to murder that late game. And this is a big map, so long maps or long games, not really out of the question here. But a good focus on Varian now as he's trying to jump back. A bit of a slow happening from Leo. Has not activated his trade once in this game. Mercy gets attacked. Careful. Oh, and this time the wall connects. Nice. And there's Odin. Odin is up. Leap into the backline. Nano boosted Odin as they are coming straight up for the fight. They go for Vala. And bam. Full barrel setup against her. They nearly get the kill. Ooh, they stopped Varian from the Hearthstone, but they couldn't really take him down. Instead, they were hoping to get Sonya, which they couldn't get either. But that's still 3 kills against 1. And that's an opportunity to go for, you guessed it, the seed. So they're going to get the first Garden Terror wave. Nice. Well, that's a pretty decent one. Okay, so they got only 1 kill out of this. But there we have it, the camp taken. And now the Garden Terror is already in the mix. You can kiss that bottom fort goodbye pretty much instantly. In the middle, though, they are going ham on this one. They're gonna try to take that one down as fast as they can, and yeah, it's not gonna make any moves. At the top, I don't really think this one is gonna get too much damage either. The problem is more so the lead and experience that we currently see for the red team, since that leads to a level 16 talent that they can use to push this even further, especially at the bot lane where they already destroyed the first fort. Given that everybody else is up at the top right now, this is the perfect lane to wreak more havoc and go for damage. So here we have it. 20 seconds on Tychus would technically also allow them to go for that. They start to jump on Vala. Portal gets controlled though, and they all move back out. It was a good idea to jump on one of them and try to get the drop and the kill. But then, of course, it nearly backfired. They nearly lost a hero or two. But they did the best they can. Mercy is still together with Vala, getting a lot of damage out. And Vala is continuing the stacking process with 42 now to her level 1. So they couldn't get the keep, but they at least broke through the wall. Good for them. And yeah, with level 16, here we go. At the end of the day, they didn't really get that much done. Flying tag, they got a fort. That's it. Now they were hoping for more, but the fort is pretty much all that they got here. So we got the punishment, which means that now you have a multi-shot a bit more available. Oh, beautiful ley line. There comes Odin. They go for the camp and they steal it. Red team, they take the camp. Sylvanas is down. The slam against Ana. Variant is dead and so is May. It's a 1 versus 3 trade and they're diving in deep to also drop Stukov. Demoted right away. Yeah, that is it. Stukov is down and this time they can go for the keep for sure. I mean, let's face it, this is 4 kills now that they just got. Vala's the only survivor. And she is not going to make it. Instead, she actually moved to the top side. Doesn't want to die here. And instead is just attempting to send some siege giants through the top lane. So the keep is gonzo. Are they going to go for... I don't think they can. Nah, they can't go for more. They don't have May. Varian is soon going to be back. Sonya and Sylvana is the same. So they're just going to move away from here. Alright, that's a pretty big lead. And this could, of course, be a 2-0 now. If the red team is able to get even more damage done. Another map win in this best of 3 and they have it. But for now, we have them coming through the middle. Top sides, yeah, still defending this. Let's not forget that there's still 2 seeds in the hands of Team Fly. So if they get the next seed, they at least have the Garden Terror. And that might just be enough to turn the tides again. They've done it before, they might be able to do it again. Metak is already there, and Medivh is of course using his cheat mode to scout out what's going on. But they're gathering, okay. Interrupted. Portal is already up. They're looking for it again. Entomb could be used. And Luna is very stingy around it. But they go for Vala. The leap into the back and the quick kill. Nice. Easy double kill. That leap was amazing. That was perfect play by Sonya to make sure that they couldn't take Vala down. And then they went for the counter kill. And now we got the Garden Terrors. But check this one out. Look for the Entomb and the immediate counter. They move for Vala, the Entomb comes out, they leap into the back, they connect with multiple ones. May is the first one to die, and then they take Tychus down just a moment later. They can get the seed on the back of it. Now they got the Garden Terrors, and that allows them to push through the top, take the fort down. In the middle, similar picture. This one is not going to make it either. And the blue team with a lot of momentum coming through with this. Good stuff. Fort is down, and of course they are hoping for a keep, especially since they are attempting to kill Leo too. With the virulent reaction, they nearly were able to make it happen. Not quite. By now, Vala has 57,000 damage, by the way. Yeah, and here comes the push straight through the mid lane again, so the bot lane again. Mid lane gets attacked too, but the main focus is here. And I guess they're going to be able to save this one, but in the middle, the pressure is still there. And Leap is back up. So you gotta be super careful here. If anything stuns you and Leap is the follow-up, then whew, you could be in trouble. Instead, they're trying to go for the keep at the top now. They're playing a little bit ring around the Rosie with them. And the Ice Wall zones them away, zones them back, but doesn't really trap them. As long as they don't lose a keep, I think they're still going to be happy with it. Let's not forget that they already took one down at the bottom of the map. So there's that. But off we go. This one's going to be destroyed. Top side, they can still pressure it back. But that is a lot of damage dealt by the blue team. Yeah, it's an interesting series. I really like it. Yeah, I really want Game 3. These were some solid plays throughout the entire setup. So there's now the level 10s, sorry, the 20s, and that gives us the Buried Alive. so good for them. Big red button is in, and the flash freeze. But let's see how the blue team counters once they lock in their own level 20s. Especially, of course, Vala. She goes straight into the Farfly Quiver. More safety for her. The controlled chaos for Stukov. And the only one that hasn't made a choice yet is Sonya, but she also commits to the Ignore Pain. So survivability for her. And let's see how they play that out. But, yep. Up towards the top. There we go. Another camp is in. Bottom of the... It's all about camps right now. So at least for now, you're playing a little bit slower. You're just trying to annihilate your opponents. Map control. The problem for the red team is, of course, that top keep. It's incredibly low, so you got to be careful that you're not going to lose to siege giants, to catapults that are moving through the top lane. Got to push this out a little bit, assemble a couple of minions, and then you can try to go for the team fight anywhere else on the map. And with them also now, with siege giants on lane, that's going to help them a little bit. Pushing this, of course, through the middle, and with this being the first seed, teams could let it slide, but they're still looking for opportunities, of course, to get kills. And the blue team was trying to use the choke point here, but they couldn't really make it happen. Vala with the Rain of Vengeance attempt that didn't hit anything. And with Leo on the other side, you gotta be careful. There's the big red button. Nice damage, and Leo misses the entomb. Yeah, that hurts. But the nano-boosted Odin is pushing them back already. And yeah. Oh, the sleep dart on Sylvanas! No! And she gets out! Oh my god. Oh, into the back line. There's the jump. Leyline, wall, keep Anna safe. But she goes down. And this is the attack straight up for Mei. Mercy doesn't get the kill, but they take Tychus. And I don't even think that Sonya is going to fall. Yeah, it doesn't seem like she is. They save. No, they don't save Leo. He gets hit by the virulent reaction, gets locked down, and that looks more and more as if Team Fly might be able to end the game here. They're coming in for keep and core with only Medivh and Mei surviving. Big problem. Good hit with the ley line at least to delay it even further, but it's another 30 seconds that they got a bridge here. They might be able to pull that off, but it's not going to be easy at all. With 50 seconds on the cooldown for Medivh, this is not looking likely. Leo's going to be the first one to be back in the game. 15 seconds for him, but this is still a 5-man commitment to the core, and there's just no way for them to save it. Absolutely no way. This is the tie in the best of 3 series. Nice. We are going the full distance now. Our first quarterfinal match here at the Fishbowl tournament. Nicely done. GG and well played. Game number 3, the game we deserve. After we already had 2 very entertaining games in this best of 3 series, we're continuing with the final map. It is Alderac Pass, everybody. So, Team Fly against Flying Without Tech. It's like, how do you fly without tech? Unless you pull a Harry Potter and you use a broomstick. It's probably just you stumble and you fly in your nose or something. Like, I don't know. So, we got the quick ban on Junkrat this time. Ban on Malfurion, Lucio, and also Hogger. Leaving Vala open again. More or less the same pattern that we saw in game number 2. Okay. And there's Vala. Block immediately. Putting Vala out there. By the way, as she just picked also the Overwatch skin, let's just put something out there. I don't know if you guys saw that, but Blizzard changed the picture on Twitch that is being used now to promote Heroes of the Storm. So they're using a picture depicting all of the Overwatch skins. So if you don't really pay close attention, it looks a little bit like it's an Overwatch thumbnail. And I think that is an amazing marketing strategy. So Blizzard is just looking at this and they're like, nobody wants to watch Heroes of the Storm. How the fuck do we change that? It's like, easy solution. We just make it look like it's an Overwatch thumbnail, and some people will not get it right away, misclick, and that's how you lure them in to watch some Heroes of the Storm. Ingenious strategy by Blizzard, I gotta say. And yeah, they are increasing viewership 1 click at a time. And all those Overwatch plebs, you know, that just like went for the wrong one and they were just like, what am I watching here? I'm so confused. I mean, this isn't really the same anymore, but this looks like Overwatch. Like, what's going on? And rumor has it that not all of the Overwatch viewers are the smartest. So maybe it works, you know, and before you know it, we have a huge influx in Heroes of the Storm players. I mean, easy peasy. Ingenious. We got the old man, by the way. So we currently have Deckard Cain in action. The old geezer. That man has seen a lot. COVID survivor too, of course. Granny gets banned out, and Malthael is eliminated. Alright, so we got our Vala set up, Aldrich Pass again, the map, so we're gonna have a big one. Interestingly enough, we haven't had a single game so far with any... No global. Not even a single one. On the European side, you would have probably seen the birdie by now, but we don't have that. And here comes Sylvanas. I mentioned that in the second game, that I honestly expected Sylvanas to be banned. This is the third time in a row now that they pick Sylvanas, and their rotational games around Sylvanas with just them moving in and trying to take down structures is so incredibly frustrating that if I was on the side of flying tech, I would have banned that shit right away. I would have said no. And looking at the lineup that they're playing, this is fucking terrifying. I mean, we got Diablo, Stukov, Sylvanas, and Sonya. A lot of this is right down their wheelhouse. They played it previously. Here comes Chen, I guess, to break up all of that and interrupt it a little bit. But I think, for now at least, the blue team is pretty happy with what they got. It's a huge map too, so the only thing that we still need is a bit more damage. But blue team has played a really nice first game. Keep in mind, the red team barely won map number 1. It was insanely close. And here's Genji. Okay, Genji is in. Aldrich Pass, final map in the first quarterfinal of the tournament. So guys, let's jump in and check out what the two teams can pull off here and which one will move on to the semifinals. Our third map kicks off and the Chinese team starts on the left side. Playing today with Stukov, Diablo, Genji, Sylvanas and Sonya. So the combos potentially between Diablo and Stukov here, especially Sylvanas is someone that we're going to keep our eyes on. The plays that we've seen on both of the maps from Mercy were not only super aggressive during team fights, but also very pushy on lanes when he was trying to take structures down, something that he might try to execute here as well, since the map is fairly big. For the red team, we got Mei, Chen, Deckard Cain, Vala, and Tychus. So they got the Vala-Tychus combo this time for the damage output. The old man in the back with all of the potions that he's going to set out here. And Chen, of course. Chen probably a bit of the X-Factor pick here. Stalk, is it you? With the Storm Stout secret recipe on level 1. Which makes me kinda hungry. Immediately. Just a little bit. Yeah, I don't know. Not too much food talk today. I mean, we know the classic. Yeah, in case that you missed the memo. Pineapple still belongs on pizza. Very selective pizza though. Not on all pizza. Only on some pizza. But a Pizza Hawaii. Whew. And yes, a burger with fruit on it can be absolutely delicious. So that's another thing. Mango, for example, in a burger absolutely works. Meat and mango, depending on how you mix that, whew, really, really good. But, well, anyways, maybe that's part of the Storm Stout secret recipe. I mean, who knows? Who knows? I gotta say, I'm very, very happy, though, that all of the restaurants in Valencia are open again, because I was really missing that. Just like going to restaurants every now and then, I mean, not every day, not every week, but just having the option is something that is actually pretty brilliant. And in Germany, for example, that's not the case right now. In Valencia, they have been open for a couple of weeks now, and it's awesome. It is absolutely awesome. Really enjoying that. So, hope that you by now also have restaurants open up again. Get out of the house a little bit. Make sure that you are enjoying life, especially, of course, if you're already vaccinated and all that stuff. But yeah, Sonya down, and in the meantime, we have at the bottom of the map still, again, the rotation is still going on. The camps are being taken. Normally, you try to take that at the 1 minute mark as soon as you can. We have our level 4 talent slowly kicking in. This time it's in the rhythm for Tychus, so we're not going for the bigger they are, despite the fact that Dibbles is on the other side. Just trying to make sure that they are going to get more value out of the minigun in the long run. Ruby also taken. In addition to that, we got the Withering Flames. And at the bottom, here comes the little setup against Aimer. But Tychus doesn't fall. Instead, we're looking at the middle of the map where they're pressuring thanks to the camp even further. That's something that we've seen mostly from the blue team. But now it is the red team that is trying to get aggressive. There's the immediate reaction on the other hand, with Genji jumping in and an easy kill against Vala. Nicely done. Good job by Genji. Super aggressive around that, getting the Dragon Claw in also with this level 4. And that was a nice counter kill. So they go for the Panda top side. I don't think they can take him down, but even if you just drop the hit points enough so he's forced to drop to tape the fountain, that is more than enough for the time being. Okay. Bottom of the map, Genji still doing his thing too. I want to say that so far I really have the impression that the bigger the map, the better for the blue team. I think their rotation are a little bit crisper and clearer. And it worked very well for them in game number 1 and game number 2, despite the fact that they lost on Tomb of the Spider Queen initially. But generally they make good moves there. As you can see, it doesn't matter if it's the European meta, the Western meta, or if you're on the Asian server, we still have the cam taken pretty much every single time that it comes off cooldown. It's one of the most important things. I mean, we went from the map that has probably the most camps in the game to the map that has the least. So outside of the bosses, this is the only regular camp that you can take here. Level 7 talents are kicking in, and once more we get the Hot Pursuit. So the build for Vala is again the same. We have bosses coming up in just over a minute. And again, they attempt to pressure the mid lane a little bit. Now, there's obviously the prisoner camps on the map too, but as we've seen in so many other games on All Direct Pass in the past, normally the teams are not attacking it quite that early. The earliest on this level of play is around level 7. Sometimes you will see the game being delayed until level 10 even before anybody is making a move, soaking experience up to that point. And at least they're trying this time to see if they can get an early lead on it. Vala gets attacked right away, comes back in with another vault forward and putting the aggressive plays onto Genji. Only 2 stacks for Tychus. Hasn't really gotten a whole lot here. And Vala is not looking at too many stacks either. I mean, there weren't that many brawls or anything, and of course in the last big fight she died towards the end. But right now we got 10 stacks for Plock. Plock looking for those sexy plays again. Did he have the account sexy Plock? Is that just me or was it just the team? I mean, either way. There's the sexy plays now. 13 stacks, nice shot. The old man getting bullied too as Genji is coming in again. And we still have Chen around, so slowly but steadily everybody is starting to focus on the bottom lanes. They're splitting Sonya off though, and Chen too, to soak the top side experience. With everybody getting closer and closer to level 10, that doesn't really come as a shock. Talent set up, the Ice Storm synergized with the Induced Hibernation. The tanks in the mid lane still playing around a little bit, everybody just guarding the prisoner camps. Nothing too insane yet. So it's a lot of respect here. It's the final map. Whoever loses here is out of the tournament. This is a single elimination system. So we're going straight into the semis with the winners. And if you lose on the final one, then you are out. But I gotta admit, it is super fun to me to see the teams being this evenly matched already in the first round. That's awesome. We got the top Keck plays for Chen, by the way. Going straight up for the barrel. And once again, the lightning breath. It's time for the barbecue, baby. Genji jumping in as the X-Strike, and they're trying. Still the 1 versus 1 up at the top. Genji is fun. It's so weird for me to say this again. I talked about this in one of the previous games too, but for a long time in HGC, Genji was in every game. In every game. Either picked or banned. It was so boring, and now it's just cool when you see him. Oh, the collapse on Vala! Easy kill. The old man a little bit too late with the sleeper setup as he's telling stories again, and he might fall victim, but a great wall has been set up by Mei to stop the onslaught, and that was beautiful. If not for that wall, it could have definitely been another follow-up kill, especially against the Boomer as he was trying to get out. But KCB, he was ready. And the follow-up from Deckard Cain is kind of nice. It shows you what's possible in theory, but they first of all need to make the engage and not use it as a defensive tool. Now the aggression is still there, and of course the blue team is trying to get at least the lead on the objective, which he successfully just did. But none of the teams is focusing too heavily on it. I mean, it seems like Flying Tech is finally willing to commit a little bit more to that setup. But yep, there's the fights. Vala! Oh, Lord have mercy. Sylvanas cutting it close. Very, very close. But is able to make it out of the fight. Yeah, 14,000 damage now for Vala. And of course, with every single multi-shot that she delivers, she's increasing the damage potential for the later stages of the game even further. Good for them. Yeah, a bit more poke, but Vala is out there. Plock is not shying away from frontlining if need be. He wants those multi-shot hits. And he wants to have that consistent poke. Now, we have, of course, long surpassed the 5-minute mark, which means that both of the teams have by now also the objective, or the second, so to say, objective up on the map. Boss at the top, boss at the bottom, that they could play around here. But it's just that endless brawl and standoff that we have down here at the bot lane. It's a little bit reminiscent of what you normally see on Battlefield of Eternity. Both of the teams are not really willing to fully commit just yet to the opponent's camp, but they're poking around the edges in the hopes to get someone that steps out of position and can be punished for it. Level 13 talents are, of course, also going to be pretty big. But we're now 8 minutes and 20 seconds into the game. We haven't seen an objective yet. We're nearly at level 13, and we've only seen 3 kills in total. It's kind of one of those moments when you're thinking about where's the birdie? Where's that easy bird pick? 29 stacks for Vala. Of course, they're both going for the camp again as it spawns. We got 23 stacks by now in Tychus. I mean, again, it's a bit late to all of this. Hadn't really had a lot of opportunities early on to stack it properly, so the minigun duration isn't nothing crazy just now, but he's slowly starting to improve it a little bit. Genji is now also taking his 13, and in this case went straight into the way of the Shimada. No Hanzo, by the way, today yet. No Hanzo either. So yeah, no Hanzo plays, but there's Gloom. And the super healing potion. Okay. Deckard Kane. And Vala still with stack after stack. She's sitting at 30 now. 30 stacks. Not insane, again, but it adds up over time. And here comes Mercy again. Mercy every single time. I mean, he's out there. And he gets caught! And he gets caught. Immediately Odin. That's the play that we've now seen multiple times. If you catch somebody with a wall, Tychus pops his ult, and they're trying for the kill. But good moves by Stukov, just slapping them easily out of harm's way, and are able to save the target. But of course, with Odin already popped, you got to back off at least a little bit, and that gives the lead to the team in red as they're going for the objective. They leap and they kill. Vala is down. The top keg play attempt, not too much, and there's another one. They kill too. Mei is down, so is Vala. The Chinese players just a bit too powerful here. I mean, check it out. They're moving back, and here comes Sonya. Bam! The leap straight into the back. They're getting the kill in. Deckard Kane is a second too late to help them. Mei dies too, and that double kill empowers them to go for the prisoner camp. And I guess lock in the objective now. It was 2.5 seconds that were missing for the Korean team to lock it in. But as it stands, it is the Chinese team that gets the lead right here. Easily done. Also, Tychus obviously just popping out of Odin as Sonya made her move. Now we have pressure at the bottom of the map even before the cavalry is making its way in. That opens the wall up, allows the cavalry to be even more impactful. And here we go. The coordination is, by the way, great. Coordination on the side of Team Fly is fantastic. Now, bot lane, that should be the one that takes a huge amount of damage, but then again, they're focusing onto the mid lane now. After they open the bot lane up by taking the 2 towers and the gate down, they can now focus their attention a little bit more into the middle of the map, where the entire red team is trying to defend, therefore. Vala with a few more stacks in. I mean, again, I'm harping on these stacks a little bit because in the late game it's going to matter. The longer the game lasts, the better Block is positioned to really turn these fights around with the damage output that he eventually is going to bring to the table. Level 16 talents, the lead is of course still there, but it's a small one. Actually, it's not quite true, it's a level. Not that small. Top side, yeah, this doesn't look good. So one fort is already down, bottom of the map, the second one has fallen too, that's 2 eliminated. And that is a very, very good lead for Team Fly now, and in regards to macro. Level 16 talents, soon we're going to have them for both teams as the red team is getting closer and closer in experience here. But here it is. We currently got our Will of the Forsaken in. We got the final cut. I think final cut is now mandatory. Ever since Dignitas against MVP Black happened on Sky Temple, final cut is just mandatory. Even if you don't want to pick it, if you're Korean, you have to take it. It's just a rule right now. Now, of course, you can always argue that MVP Black would have won that game anyways, but in the manner they did, that was just a little bit too insane. So yeah, there's a level 16 talents now for both sides. Here's where we're getting the Black Ice. Manticore is in, and that will allow for way more pressure against Diablo, especially once the Farfly Quiver is available to Vala. So that's kind of neat. But Block has to be a bit more laid back. A little bit more defensive if he really wants to get the main max value out of it. So, yeah, down at the bottom of the map, they're going for the boss. No reaction from the red team. They don't know about it yet. And they also don't have anybody up at the top side. So this is actually a really sweet play. Because what the red team is currently doing is just simply taking the camp on the right side of the map. So boss is going to be lost. Nobody is going to make a play around that. And with the boss lost, technically you can now go for the double boss play. And the red team, they just don't have an option to do anything. They have to either defend at the top or take at the... defend the bottom or take the top. Even if you don't go for top boss, you can now start to pressure, but they're going for Luna as well. As the wall's done, the Panda has the keg out. Yeah, Vala used the Wailing Arrow, by the way. She barely missed it. If the keg is not being used there, he might die just because that silent cuts in. And now they can go for the double boss play, as I already said. With 3 heroes or 2 heroes showing at the bot lane as they're defending, they know that there's just no damage available for Flying Tech to contest the boss topside. So it's going to be a defense on both bosses, which buys a lot of time for the blue team to go for the next objective. Yeah, I saw that. Stun on Mercy. Needs to get some mana, so back to the Nexus it is. But now they got a chance to get the lead again. Because top lane has to be dealt with. And if this continues, it might be the first Korean team that is getting dropped out of the competition. And in total, 8 teams participate here. 2 Chinese teams and 6 Korean teams, as mentioned. Top side, okay, so they're gonna make the play for the boss with Vala alone. Plock firing at will. Right now, nobody's making a play for the objective just yet. That's a bit of damage output, 27,000 for Vala. But Genji is really the one that pressured the backline the most. And he's the one who had 24,000 damage for them. Sylvanas is sitting at 23. So boss is about to be taken. Nice job by Block, only losing the gate. Not much more. Next camp is also getting attacked here. 4 kills against 1, but half a level until 20. I mean, Flying Tech, they gotta do something here. If they just play the wait-and-see game, that's not going to be successful. Here comes the slappity slap slap as Stukov comes in with a heavy hit. But the turn attempt against him, and he's down. Stukov is dead. Well done. And that is a big leap. Again, absolutely on point. And Plock is dead. And they get the second kill. 2 heroes down. And Jesus, Sonya every time. I mean, that's worth a round of applause, honestly. Nicely done. That was some sexy plays here by Sonya, and of course, those are 2 super important kills. They lost Sylvanas, they lost Stukov, but here is how the turnaround happened. They jumped in, they were able to kill Plock, and then the barbecue against the second target. Nicely done. Of course, Sylvana's on the way back, she dies. The grenade of Tigers was on point. If that doesn't happen, then it's an even more dire situation for Flying Tech. Level 20 talents, huge deal here. Here comes the play, the delays from Flying Tech as they're hoping to somehow close the 1 level gap in experience to get their own Storm talents. But it is rough, especially with this being attacked here. Still a bit of a chase happening. They're hoping, of course, for more kills. Bot lane also starting to pressure the keep. And you don't want to lose anything at this point. 38 into 40 stacks now for Vala. Again, she died early in the last fight, so she couldn't capitalize on the battle with additional multi-shot connects that would have increased her level 1 damage. But yes, there it is. Level 20. So close and yet so far. They're going for the Panda again in the middle of the map. And he kicks away. Better safe than sorry. Sylvanas wasn't there yet. But if you get attacked again, if Stukov hits a good lurking arm, for example, you might just be in too much trouble. So yeah, level 20 any moment. Leap is back up. And we had some dirty engages from Leap. There it is. Alright, the sleeper set up, but already the Leap into the choke point. Not like this. Oh my god. 2 down right away. Boy, boy, boy. There's the kills, and they're going for Deckard Cain. The old man, he's dead too. That's the end of May. She can delay it, but she's not going to be able to prevent it. And of course, now the world is your oyster. Only the Panda is still alive, and the Panda wants Stukov. I mean, he can keg out, I suppose. Might have to use it here, but he is fighting. They're going to lose that fort, though. Yeah, that fort is down. And at the bottom of the map, Sonya has started to attack the keep as Genji is going for the objective. And so far, so good. But yeah, as they're pushing through the middle, check that fight out. I mean, this is really the choke point setup, and Sonya leaping in, you can't miss in that position. The insta blow up against Vala, that happened multiple times, and you honestly would think that at this point they learn, but they just didn't. So now it's the first keep that's falling, and that's not even the worst part. You lost the keep already, you're probably going to lose the second one too, and if you don't lose it right now, then the next objective is on the way, and is most likely going to wreck you hard. So, yeah, it's some solid action that we're seeing from the Chinese. They're looking fantastic here. I mean, half of it is them playing well, and the other half is flying tag, YOLOing in choke points over and over, and getting totally abused by Sonya. And she's not the only one. Diablo, him getting the ult out just before Deckard Cain gets the pressure in was also important. But by now, you have the top lane under pressure. I mean, the wall is down, Fountain gets attacked. And now the bot lane aggro as they're starting to move in. Good connects from Vala, but that doesn't really help you. And the Panda nearly got barbecued. Ooh, the Panda nearly got barbecued hard in this one. Now the wall is out and they're still playing around Odin. But the core is getting attacked as well. The bottom keep, is it gonna fall? It's gonna be a close one, and yes, it's down. That's 2 armor shields removed. Leap comes in. This time maybe a little bit premature, not quite the effect that they were expecting. And Sonya is in a bit of trouble in that fight. She's not the only one. Stukov is also rather low, and he dies first. Stukov is down, and Dibbles, no, don't know about him. I love how Sonya just says, I'm going core, boys, and that is game. That's a 2-1 victory for Team Fly. Congratulations.